It is February 13th, and I'm almost done with the first arm. My yarn is falling. Almost done with the first arm of my All of Delights cardigan. My goal, I have a plan. Let me start over. I am going out downtown Nashville on the 25th, and I would like to wear this cardigan on that day. It's supposed to be in the 50s. Of course, I don't really trust the weather when it's that far out, but I like to have this done by then. And I think if I power through, I should have everything knit and blocked by the 25th, because that's what, 10, it gives me 11 days and a day to block, and I think it might take 2 days to dry, so maybe 10 days. And really, because of that modification, quote unquote, that I did on the pattern, which I'll talk about in detail later, it's really just doing this cable on the top part of the arm, and everything else is knit stitch. So it's doable, maybe, hopefully. But yeah, let's see if I can power through this and get that done. We have an arm. I gotta leave that in, but we have an arm. And I forgot to mention earlier, pocket stitches. So this is what I was trying to explain in my last video about what I was gonna do with the pockets. So when you put your hands in, it's just kind of free flowing instead of attached to the back of the work like that. It's just waving high from underneath. So yes, I've got one more arm to do, and then after that I have to, where are we? Pick up on the outside, it's a braid, so I gotta pick up the stitches, and then this part's not on hold, so I'm guessing I gotta somehow start it here and then pick up and attach or something. I don't know. I'll figure that out when I get there. But that's it. So hopefully I'll have this done and blocked and dry by the 25th. Wish me luck. Hello. So today is February 15th. It's Thursday, and I'm on the second sleeve. So I was just thinking as I'm knitting this that I should go over how I modify arms on basically any garment pullover that I knit, because I 100% of the time have to modify arms. So I don't count by row for decreasing or anything, because my tension isn't always consistent. So what I do is I measure by length. So on the first arm, and I put a picture up, but I mean, I took a picture, but I might as well just show you this way. Make sure I don't drop my yarn. Okay, so what I do is when I pick up for my arms, let me backtrack a little bit. Because the first step I gotta do is, since this is top down, and I'm gonna try not to give the pattern away too much. For this particular pattern, I had to look and see where I could add length for the armhole, because I usually have to add about 2 or 3 inches more for the depth or the hole. So when I was knitting this, I was trying to figure out where the body starts, right? So you're not going around, you're doing a front and a back, right? For this cardigan, All of Delights by Joji Locatelli. So what I had to do was add inches to the front and to the back before it goes around for the body. So that's the first thing. And I do that with everything that's top down, raglans, whatever. I have to figure out inches for, like if I'm doing a raglan, for the arm part, I add, like another inch or two. And then when I get to the bottom on a raglan, I'll add another inch or two and then quickly decrease after a few rows. That way I'm not adding inches to the body part. But on this, what I did was I added to the front and back, and then that mistake that I made actually worked in my favor for this, because this is supposed to be all texture and it ended up being stockinette, so I just stuck with it. And it worked out because then I can add, what I did was I added like a few more stitches to the side underneath the arm to give me more space in the armhole. So I added in the front and the back and underneath. So all around, I think I ended up getting like three or 4 inches more than what the pattern called for. Then what I do is when I pick up for the armhole, I count where my center underneath the arm is going to be. And because there's this cable here, I want to make sure that this section, gosh, all right, this section and this section are equal. So I write that down, numbers on my pattern, and then count all of it as a whole. That way I know that I'm centered underneath my arm. So this marker here, I don't go down to a smaller needle. It's the same needle that I've been using, which I think is a 6. This marks where I do my first decrease. That way, when I start the second arm, I just measure from here, from where I picked up to the first decrease, and then I know that I need to do the same thing on the second arm. Then, because I wanted the armhole bigger since it's a cardigan, I usually do every 6 rows I do a decrease if it's a pullover, but because I wanted the armholes just slightly bigger, I did every 8 stitches for a decrease. Basically when I do sleeves, I don't even look at the pattern anymore. It's all me. So I couldn't even tell you what the decreases are for this pattern because I didn't even look at it. This is just what I do. So every 8 inches, and then here is where I changed my rate of decrease. So from here to here, I'm doing every 6 rows to taper in that arm a little bit more so I don't have a gaping space on my wrist. Here is where I'm starting the cuff. So that's where all my markers are. So from where I picked up to the first decrease, and then from the first decrease to where I'm changing my rate of decrease, and then from here all the way to the cuff. That way I've got measurements. So when I do my second arm like I'm doing now, I measured and I just started my first decrease. So now everything's gonna be 8. And then what I've noticed is that I'm always off by like a decrease or 2, which is why I do it this way. So it's by length so that my arms are always even. So I am on the second arm. That's my beginning of round. And I am about 5 inches in. I want to be done. I would like to start blocking by the 23rd because I think it's going to take 2 days for this to dry. So I want it to be dry by late morning of the 25th. I still don't know if I'm going to make it because I still have to do the band for the pockets that I was showing yesterday or the day before. Whatever was previous to this. But I figured I would talk about that. So also, yes, I cut my hair. I don't think, yeah, the last video I had a hat on. So I went to menopausal rage and chopped off all my hair. And I did it myself. Is it perfect? No. But if you have any suggestions on how to make it a little bit better, I'm all ears because it's only going shorter from here. So, anyway, that's it for today, the 15th. I will update you tomorrow, Monday. We'll see where we're at. Okay. Good morning. Today It's February 19th, President's Day. And yes, I'm in the same tank top as last time. It's clean. It's washed. I was going to put on a shirt for y'all. It's so hot in here right now because the sun's beating through my window. I got light going on my face. Anyway, so I'm almost done. Actually, I would have been done last night with the second arm. But I got like halfway through the cuff and I'm like, why is this so tight? The other arm wasn't this tight. I think it's because normally when I do 2 at a time, because I know my rate of decrease as far as length goes is going to be different, which is why I measure by inch and not by decrease. Anyway, my stitch count was off. And usually right before a few inches before I get to the cuff, I want to make sure everything is as even as I can get it. I guess I just skipped that part. So I ripped back, and then, of course, as I'm picking up stitches, you can see here, I did not knit a row. When I picked up stitches, and it's really easy to skip a row when you pick up stitches, and that's what I did, because I wasn't picking up in this cabling, which that right there would mess somebody up. It's kind of hard to do that sometimes. But I knit a plain row after the cabling, and that's where I tried to pick up clearly. So what I need to do today is fix that, which won't take very long, as it happens to me more often than I'd like to admit. So I'm going to fix that and then finish the cuff, and then I'll be done with that probably in the next hour or so. Well, no, I won't be done with the cuff in the next hour, but like I'll be well on my way within the next hour or so. Go to work, come back, should be able to finish the arm tonight. And then I just have to, this thing is a beast, y'all, for real. Then I just have to pick up for the pockets and I'm done. So, seeing as I want to have this done by Sunday, I think the odds are in my favor. I think so. And I'm not worried about it looking a little janky down here. I think there's a lot of forgiveness within the pattern and within the color that unless you're really looking at it and know what you're looking at, you're not going to notice. So I'm not going to worry about it. Which I have to say, being a perfectionist and being a knitter, it really, after a while, teaches you to learn to give some things up, which is really hard at first. Like, it's super hard at first. But, I've been knitting for 2015. How many years is that? 7 years. And probably within the last 2 or 3 years, I've learned to just be like, you know what? There's nobody really in my personal life who's going to know the difference. And if they're standing that close, then you better really like me and I better really like you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so, all right. That's it for now. I gotta go to work today. It's a short day, I hope. Going out for Mexican later. Yeah. It's 31 degrees outside. Frost everywhere. Okay. See you later. We're almost there. Almost there. Finished the arms last night. All woven in. Wow, this is looking really bright on camera. It's a little bit darker. It's not this bright. And the sun's coming in. So, but yeah, all I have left to do, I was talking about those pockets a little while ago. That's how I've got this. So what I got to do is pick up, where is it? Here. These stitches are on hold. So I got to pick up, do the rest of the pattern, and then figure out how I'm going to attach it this pocket, which shouldn't be hard. So it gives instructions for this part, so I'm just gonna sew them in with the inside of the pocket. And then we'll be good to go. Theoretically, from what I can tell from the instructions, it really shouldn't take me past tomorrow with the amount of time that I have today and tomorrow to be able to do that. So hopefully by tomorrow night, I'll have a finished cardigan, which will be awesome. I'm so excited. I started this project, let me give you an accurate date. Because I want to say it was September 21st, but that may or may not be right. 16th, September 16th. So what is that? October, November, December, January, February. Oh, I was thinking 6 months. That's only 5 months. Well, technically, we're in the 6th month. Technically. So just over 5 months. Which actually isn't bad, because when I started this project, I had in my head that at the most I wanted to be done in 5 months. So just a few days after 5 months or a week after 5 months, that's not bad. Especially considering that, you know, at that time I wasn't working and now I'm working. So, yeah. What I'm planning on doing after I'm done is have a sit down where I go through the whole process of how I did this cardigan. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes of talking, honestly, because I've already broken down so many pieces of it. It's just gonna be a quick and dirty, basically, of what I did, because there are some modifications that I did, and then I'm gonna put some footage. If I find the right outfit, I kind of have an outfit in mind for 25th. We're going to the theater, so I kind of have an outfit in mind. The way it is in the theater now, you don't have to dress up like some. In my head, growing up, you always dressed a certain way when you went to the theater. It's not really like that anymore. I don't go in there looking super casual either, but I want to look decent, you know. So I'm planning on wearing this with an oversized gray tunic and leggings. So this week on my days off, I'm gonna go and look for some shoes that go with leggings and a different tunic if they're out in the stores. I would think that by now, that kind of like the spring outfits and stuff like that would be in the stores. So I'm gonna go to Target, and see if they have anything and wear this with it, because it's at that point now where like I really won't even need this until the evening, honestly. But see, we have this bar that I want to go to, or we both want to go to. It's called Sinatra's, and that's a little bit on the swankier side. And that outfit's not really going to work for Sinatra. And I don't want to bring a change of clothes. Like, that's going to be annoying. Which is kind of why I want to go tunic shopping, because if I can find, like, all black or dark red or dark purple or something that will still go with the cardigan but is on the darker side of the spectrum, maybe that'll work for going into Sinatra. I hope. I always want to pick a different place, because you will stand out in that place if you don't. And you know, it's like you gotta have reservations and all that stuff. It's, I wouldn't say it's uppity, but it's of a little bit of a higher caliber, if you will. So, but it's nice in there. You know, they've got an interesting menu, and they have somebody, the last time I was in there, singing Sinatra songs, as they should. None of these songs I like. I actually don't even like Sinatra, believe it or not. Now, what I do like is Barry Manilow covering Sinatra. That I can vibe with. So, something about Sinatra's music itself. I do covers, but I can't. I'm weird. Anyway, I'm gonna go. So that's my update for today. Today is the 20th, in case you're keeping up. 20th. I guess I should be keeping up that, And I just woke up like an hour ago. I had my coffee. So, if I haven't mentioned it yet, this is part of the CYO Adventure Mouse. So choose your own adventure mouse. There is another choose your own adventure make along out there, but ours, I'm gonna write it down here, is how it's written out for the hashtag. I think that the other one that's out there right now does not have the MAL at the end. So anyway, this would be under the category of over 1,200 yards and whips, because right now I'm looking at 2,000 yards for this. That's not what the pattern calls for, it's less than that, but I made it longer. Plus my row gauge is always tight, especially with Joji Locatelli. I'm usually off by like 2 or 3 inches anyway from the pattern, and then I just make it longer, so that just adds more yarn. So yeah, so that would be under those categories. And the last video, I think it's the last video, I talk about the make along and rules and stuff. I'll link it up here too. Okay, I'm gonna go now. See you tomorrow. It just occurred to me that I wear the same tank tops over and over and over again. I make no apologies. That's just the way it is. But hey, make a drinking game out of it. Pick a color, and if you see me wearing it, take a shot. That's all I got. Oh, hey, that rhymed. It's done. All of the Lights cardigan is done. I finished this on the 21st or the 22nd, somewhere around there. It took 2 days to dry like I thought it would. And let me move you for a second. Okay. And I got to wear it to the theater, and I'll put in a video while I'm talking. So what I want to do now is just kind of quickly go over the pattern and the modifications without giving away the pattern, but I kind of want to just go over the construction a little bit and what I did to modify, because every garment that I ever knit and every garment that I will ever knit will need some kind of modification. That's just the way it is. If I ever knit a pattern straight to pattern, I probably would have sweaters that never fit. So if you've ever knit, I can't say for all of her cardigans, but this is a Joji Locatelli pattern, and this is the second cardigan that I've knit from her. The first one that I knit was the Adventurous cardigan, and I did that one kind of in a grandpa style, quote unquote. So, but this one I did for actual wearing out in public purposes. So, because the other one's kind of more like a robe. So anyway, usually what happens is she has you make a collar type of thing, like it's a stretch of fabric. And I'm trying to remember where. Okay, so you're starting with these 2 braids here, and then if I remember correctly, you do the other side, and it's the same thing. You do whoop, 2 braids, and then you start picking up and working the fronts and the backs and all that. What I like to do, it's really hot in here, so I'm not going to wear this right now because, again, the sun is beating in here, and it's 62 degrees. But what I like to do right away, once the initial part of the cardigan is done, is to block it, because you have to pick up stitches to get to the stitches where you need for the fronts and the backs and all that stuff. So I did that. And it just, one, it makes it easier, and 2, because cables are so constricting, if you're picking up stitches and then trying to block everything after, I haven't tried it, but I feel like your cardigan will be a little wonky. So that's just to make more of the stitches even in the most important part, because the whole cardigan is based off of here, right? So did that. So the first modification that I made is when you're knitting the front panels, right? And then you're knitting the back before you even join it around. And I made sure to check the pattern to see how the armholes work, because armholes are always going to be something I have to modify, just because, you know, I've got, let's just show, you know what I mean? So let's just be real. So what I did was I had to add 2 2 or 3 inches on the front and on the back, on both panels in the front and on the back, just to get the armhole depth that I need. And I didn't want sausage arms. Usually with a pullover, I'll make the arms a little bit tighter, but with a cardigan, I wanted to make them looser. So, and I think that came out really well. And another modification that I made, which wasn't on purpose, but it happened that way because I was trying to understand the pattern. And I will say that Joji Locatelli's patterns are clear. I was just having a brain fart or something like that, so I was not understanding this section here. This is actually supposed to be, and I'll throw in a picture over my face. This is supposed to be like some kind of textured stitch. I don't even know what it is. And when I was picking up stitches to do this, I was just knitting straight. And so I thought that was the texture section, right? And then I get like maybe 2 inches in, and I was like, oh, that's this other thing. And I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna rip it out, because honestly, it would make it easier for me to not have that texture, just in terms of speed of getting the garment done, and the wanting to knit the garment. Because I think that if I was still working on that texture stitch, I wouldn't be done with this. So it definitely sped up everything, because you know, you've got the arms would be all that texture stitch, the front panel would be all that texture stitch, like the sides and all this stuff. And then, is it in the back? Yeah, these parts here, breaking up the cable and the lace section would be all that texture stitch. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it. And I'm glad that I did. So, design feature, personal design feature for myself. This yarn is my dark unicorn colorway that I still have one full skein left. But anyway, this is a dark unicorn colorway, and this is Blue Face Luster DK weight. And I dyed up 10 skeins of yarn. My plan was to use 8, and I ended up using 8.5, just over 8.5. So I'm glad that I had that extra just in case. I alternated skeins, so I would say, because of the construction of the garment, most of this is every 2 rows. I changed out skeins of yarn. There are some sections where I have like 4 rows, some sections where there's like maybe 6 rows. But for the most part, it's alternated every 2 rows. So the place that shows the most pooling would be on the arms, just because of the circumference. So you might be able to see a little bit of pooling, even though I alternated skeins. So like you see a light patch here, a dark patch, a light patch there. Again, I think that's just because of the circumference, because the wider your surface area is with knitting and you're alternating skeins, the less it's going to pull, because like you might have a small section here, but then it might show up again over here, whereas if you have a small section, it's going to repeat more. So a tiny regret, I knew this was going to stretch because it's super washable, and I always account for the stretch. In fact, I don't know what video it is, but in one of my past videos in the last 4 or 5 months or something like that, I actually talk about, I think it's my favorite sweaters video. I talk about the stretch and how to account for the stretch. Now, I'm realizing in hindsight that I'm also a tight knitter, so I know that plays a part. So if you want to knit garments with superwash wool, my suggestion would be, one, you know, what I was saying in that video is to knit 1 inch to 1.5 inches shorter than your desired length, because after blocking you'll get that length. But also, if you're a looser knitter, you might want to go down a needle size too. Anyway, I took account for the length of the cardigan in its entirety, and I got the length I wanted. Where I messed up was where I put the pocket, like the start of the pocket. it's an inch to an inch and a half lower than where I wanted it. It really should have been like up here, and I wasn't thinking about the stretch when I did that. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just put it where, you know, I actually talked about that in the past video where I wanted to start the pocket, and I really should have started it up here instead of down here because of that stretch. Still worked out, but that would have saved me, I don't know, 30 grams of yarn. It's negligible, but it still would have saved some yarn. But that's really the only tiny regret that I have. Pockets, you're supposed to sew them into the fabric, and I just have mine loose. And after wearing it for a day, I'm on the fence whether or not I want to actually tie these down. So we'll see. I did put my cell phone in that pocket, or in both pockets, and I have a small cell phone, but it's still heavy on the fabric. So I might, but I don't know yet, I might put like a small pocket on the inside and sew it in. I don't know. I'm on the fence about that too. I may or may not do that. Anything else? I did a longer than normal cuff on the sleeves just because I thought it would look nice, and I'm glad that I did that. And what else? I think that's it. This is super comfortable. I'm so glad I made this. I don't know how many things in my wardrobe this will go with, but it worked out for my outfit yesterday. And like I said, it's super comfortable. Highly recommend the pattern. What I like to do is I like to knit patterns, especially with all these cables, on my desktop. And I'll just open up Adobe and have the two PDFs up. So one of them I'm working off of the charts, and the other one I'm looking at the directions. That way whenever I'm done getting to whatever length I need for a section, I can go to the next tab and just look and see what my directions are for the next part. That just makes it easier, instead of having to like print off something and then keep flipping back and forth and figuring it out and all that stuff. And then I just use the highlight to figure out what row I'm at, and it's easier for me to do it that way. So I think that's it. I would love to wear this for you. You know what? I don't know. I guess I'll wear it, even though it's hot in here. I'll do it for you. I'll do it. I keep being told that I should put a button in here somewhere, but I don't really. I like having it open, so. There you go. That's the cardigan. Oh, that's so comfy. I love it. I love it. It's a great pattern. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm sorry it took so long to get out, but I really wanted to build something so you can kind of see the process a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed that. And oh, that's right, I talked about a giveaway last video, didn't I? So if you made it this far, I'm having a giveaway, and it is separate from the Choose Your Own Adventure Make Along. So I just want to put that out there. It's a separate thing. I'm going to go get that yarn so you can see what it looks like, and then we could talk about what you need to do to win. Okay, I have these bagged up already, so I guess I'll just take them out of the bags. There might be some crinkling, forewarning. I've got one bag full of untreated yarn. This is Larkspur Merino DK. We've got Strawberry Smoothie. Larkspur is like a medium tonal blue. Strawberry Smoothie is a pastel pink with a little bit of vanilla cream color in there. These are all Merino DK. This is Violet, And it's kind of it's violet. It's a tonal violet, so it's got like undertones of blue, overtones of some purple, little red speckle going on in there. Honestly, that's a break. That's what happens sometimes. And a break is a dye term. So sometimes your dyes will break, and sometimes it's favorable, sometimes it's not. It worked in that. So, and this is Potpourri, which is a pastel blue base with speckles and splashes of violet and Kelly green and blue and pink. So that's the first one. What I'm gonna do is when I choose the winner, you can just tell me which one of these packages you want, and then the other one will be used for the choose your own make along, choose your own adventure make along. So let me put this back. Okay, this next package, I don't know if they're all the same base, but this is Sunshine and Superwash Merino nylon fingers. This is 8515 merino nylon fingering weight, and it's you got some deep yellow going on here with some lighter yellow going into cream, and then this one is 100% merino fingering superwash Emerald Coast. So we've got a background of cream and light green with like these dark patches of this bright green and a little bit of speckling and some blue speckles. So that's that. Then you have the rainbow, which I've labeled Pride. So this is all speckles of rainbow colors on a white base. And then this is a one of a kind. So I have a lot of different greens, but this green is a tonal green that has an overglaze of black. So you've got like some sections here that are like a little bit darker and some sections that are lighter, and that was the overglaze of black. And this is 100% Polworth fingering. So yeah, all these bases are different, but I kind of color coordinated where I thought they looked good together, and they're all fingering weight, and so you can use this for a shawl. The twists are all the same, which is basically why I put it that way, because I don't like to mix twists on yarn. I like to keep the twists the same for a project, and so that's what I did with these, is that I made sure that the twists are all the same, so you don't have like a high twist going on or single ply or anything like that. They all look the same. So I'm gonna come back in like a hot second and tell you what I want you to comment down below so that you can enter this giveaway. So what I would like you to do is comment down below how you found my channel, as that helps me out to know where I need to try to reach more people, and lets me know where my growth is coming from at the same time. So comment below how you found out about the channel, and depending on how many comments, it will decide on how I'm going to do that. Because if I only have like 3 comments, I might just do a number generator, but if I have a bunch of comments, then I'll do one of those YouTube comment generator things. So either way, comment below how you found out about my channel, and I need you to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet. And the next episode, I will announce the winner. So let's see, that'll probably be like the second week of March, somewhere around there will be my next episode. Yeah, and so I'll be talking about my makes and my finishes and stuff like that. So second week of March. Yeah, because then the last week of March will be the wrap up of Choose Your Own Adventure Make Along. So that gives you 2 weeks to watch this video and to make a comment and to like and subscribe. Tell me how you found out about the channel. And then when I choose a winner and we reach out, then you can tell me which package you would like as a gift. So we'll leave it at that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And I hope things are going well for you. And if they're not, I hope they go well for you soon enough. And yeah, take care. Go make something. Bye.